Okay, so my name is Misty Bath. I'm a public health nurse, and I've been asked to demo an HIV rapid point-of-care test. And this is our test client, Sherilyn Cortez. And I think the first thing that we'll just quickly speak about is the actual test kit that we're using. So the test kit that we're using is called the Insti Rapid HIV Test Kit. It's produced here in Richmond, British Columbia, and it's the first rapid point-of-care test that's been licensed for use in Canada. The testing technology will see us actually getting a preliminary result in 60 seconds. So clients have found it to be very helpful and they like it. And I'll quickly show you what some results can look like. So our first result is a test kit that shows only one dot at the top of the membrane. So we need a very small amount of blood. We run it through this test kit. And this top dot will always show up if you add human blood, and the top dot also shows you that the test kit is working properly, and we consider this to be a screened negative result. The second possible test result that we could see is with the formation of two dots. So you'll see that we still have the dot at the top in our control spot, which shows us that the test kit is working and that we've added human blood. But you've also now have the creation of a second dot at the bottom of the test membrane in the client test spot. These two dots show us that the test has screened antibodies to HIV, but this is only a preliminary screened result, and it needs to be confirmed with a second blood test that would be sent to a laboratory for standard lab testing. Okay, so before we actually do the test on Sherilyn, there's very few brief pieces of information that we give in a pre-test information session. So that includes making sure that Sherilyn understands how the test works, what the possible results might look like, any follow-up actions required after you get a negative or a positive result. And also, we'll try to determine if Sherilyn's showing up for the test a little bit too early, because if she's showing up before antibodies are present in her blood, we're actually going to have to get her back for another test that will give a more accurate result. We'll also take the opportunity to very briefly run over some brief HIV education around how you get HIV and how you can pass it on to others. And then we'll ask Sherilyn if she has adequate supports in her life to help her cope with any unexpected results. And that's all that we would talk about there. And then we'd actually move into the test, and I'm going to demo that now for you. So here's our test membrane, like how we showed you previously. We are going to wipe down Sherilyn's finger. And this is a very painless poke, and we're collecting a very small amount of blood. It's only 50 microliters of blood, so it's a very small amount is needed. And you'll see that this test kit actually runs a bit like a chemistry kit. So we're just going to do the poke now. And we'll collect our blood sample. It looks like it takes a long time, but we're again just collecting a very small amount of blood. And now we're going to enter that blood, or drop it, into our first bottle. And because we're screening for antibodies, when we give it a shake, it'll allow the antibodies to break apart from the blood cells. And we'll drop the first bottle into our test membrane. And we just wait until all of the fluid flows through the membrane. And we'll now add our second bottle. This is a color developer. There's a color dye that will attach to any antibodies in the client test spot if, in fact, there were HIV antibodies present in the blood. And then the final solution is a clarifying solution. And all it does is it washes away the background so that we can accurately read the results. And we let that all flow through, and you can see that takes about a minute for all of the solutions to flow through the kit. And we're there. So as you can see, there is one dot at the top of the membrane. So we added human blood to the test kit, and we have only one dot formed, and this is a confirmed negative result. And Sherilyn? It's a negative result. So the last thing that we do before clients walk out of the door is that we want to make sure that they understand what one dot means and what a negative test truly means. And then we would encourage clients to return for a second test if in fact they were testing before there was time for your body to make antibodies to HIV in your blood. And then we would encourage Sherilyn to continue with safer sexual health practices, so encourage her to continue using condoms and to get regular sexually transmitted infection screening and HIV testing. And that would be the end of the session.